Hello everybody! Today we will jump into our next new technique, and that is appliqué. And at first I want to explain what appliqué is, and then we will do a few projects. So appliqué in general is if you attach something on top of an existing garment. So you put another layer of something on top of, like a pair of jeans or a t-shirt or something. So this appliqué is basically floating above it and will be attached with stitches, with beads. You know, there are like several different options. So everything that is on top is an appliqué, and you know those little whatever dinosaurs in cars and whatnot that people attach on children's wear, like especially around the knee area, and you know, just to mend and repair. So basically appliqué is used a lot in mending, so that you have a ripped or broken or destroyed area on your garment and you want to still use it because it's otherwise perfectly fine. So you will attach something here on top to cover it up so that it's not visible anymore and make it look pretty and also be wearable again. So our first project, as you can see, it's a pair of jeans, and it has some holes in it on the left and the right side, and so I will mend those using the appliqué technique. Like mending is basically always repairing and saving, repurposing, like reusing. So at first I will decide, what I will use, what material I will use, and it's always advisable to use similar material. Let's say you have a woven fabric like those jeans with a slight stretch in it. So I would try to use a similar fabric for the mending and the repair, because when I wear those jeans later on, I want to have the same features in it. Like let's say you would use a t-shirt material to put on top of that, and you bend down a few times, then the t-shirt material will bulge out in a way, so you don't want that to happen. Same the other way around. If you have a t-shirt that needs mending and you want to put an appliqué on top, I wouldn't go with anything that is too heavy on it. Like that would make it really like sag down and not look right. It would hang down more if the t-shirt material is a very thin material. So always stay kind of in the perimeter of what you want to do. And I found this like slightly stretchy, like woven material. It's kind of a white canvas material that I want to use for my appliqué project here. So at first I would define like what I want to do. So I really like those fringes on the side, so I want to keep them, and I want to maybe make it even longer, so the fringe is a little longer on all four sides. I will stick with the like a square or rectangle side, so I have it just covered, the area that I want to not show anymore. I will do some more fringes on this side and on that side, and then like think about how I want to attach it. And there are gazillions of possibilities, and that's where all those appliqué techniques come in.
She's so persistent, yeah. So persistent, yeah. Yeah. So persistent, yeah. So persistent, yeah. Yeah. I'm so resistant, used to be so consistent. Listen to the lies, had me going coast to coast, doing the most. Had my vote, should've known. Let me down road, puncture my soul, left me exposed, yeah. Too far gone, hardly answer the phone, but I'm back to business. That's my fitness.
So now I prepared my little patch that I want to use. I will also prepare my area that I want to mend, or like put an applique on it, and clean up, you know, any messy threads that are hanging from it, so to not have too much stuff underneath. So, okay, and I will put this on, and since I really like beads and sequins and things, so now I will choose which kind of sequins and beads I want to use for this project. So I have a whole variety here. I want to stay in a color range that is the blues and the whites. Yep, I think that's my decision now. So I chose silver sequins, then silver tubings, and the denim color or indigo color, like round beads. So with these three, I will kind of get an idea of how I want to do it around and you know, the whole thing. Okay, so this is my decoration part, but first I will do the attachment part. And that is basically that I stitch this patch onto my existing garment. And while, like, first I do a rough stitch, like a basting stitch, like a running stitch, very rough, basically to hold it in place. And then I will do the fine stitching with my beads. So that is always a nicer or a better way to do it, instead of starting with the little beads here and then everything shifts and turns around and stretches in a weird way. So we don't want that. First we want to attach it, and then we will do the details on it.
Yeah, we gonna bounce to this. Hey. She wanted me in the motherland, she had plans, tried to make her understand what we had was a fling, no serious ting. Met up north, went out on the 4th of July, sent a text, no reply, she wanted more, no comply. In the DMs I slide, all about the dinar, she knows my vibes, we was good together. Live between her thighs, grip her hips, and she wanted me in Africa, Cairo. She wanted me in Africa, Cape Town. She wanted me in Africa, she wanted me in Africa, Nigeria. Coast off the PCH, lover meant to real estate, couldn't be a captain, she didn't need saving. Sexual healing, that's what she was craving. Look, yeah. Took me back to my roots, that forbidden fruit. Shot to cold, bought her a birthday suit. Chill back in the tundra, she would light a spliff. Couple sessions, then I dipped. Our last encounter on some sneaky shit. We both knew it wasn't love, it was lust. Communication leads to trust, seeking out my higher purpose is a must. I learned a lot from her.
So my next step will be to attach my beads and think about what I want to do with the whole area. So you could theoretically just go around here with a mattress stitch, just to finish up those areas here, and so it wouldn't fray even more. So that would be a possibility. Or you can just basically ignore the concept of the edge of this and just go beyond, you know, go all the way over and, you know, longer and longer and longer, like on each side, left and right. Not so much on this side because you have the seams here, but kind of lengthwise. So, and that's kind of what I want to do. Have kind of different length here on this side, and just do a basic running stitch, like a Boro stitching, and attach the beads only in the area where there is the white like fabric, and not beyond that. So that's kind of my vision. So I will just start doing that and then see if I like the result. What I also did as a preparation is I put in a few lines here with my chalk to have a rough idea how straight I am with my stitches. So I don't want to be all the way over the place and have it very irregular. Since my patch is also like a geometric shape, I don't want to have the lines too too wild. So now I am done with my project here. So as you can see, I did some Boro stitching on the side here and on the inside without any beads, and then like the embellishment just as a frame around here. So I started each row kind of on the outside, then I did a few stitches without, then I put on those stitches with a bead and then without. Then I moved over to the next row, same here, without the beads, with the beads, and then without. And in the middle, I just did the beads only as a frame. So the last thing to do is remove my basting stitch. Remember the gray one that held my piece down? And I do that carefully not to interfere with any of my stitches. Sometimes they are just underneath, sometimes they are above some beads, so I have to be careful not to do any harm to my embellishments here. Sometimes it's just easier if you cut it. And then we're pretty much done. So I like the effect that it has. So it is kind of a glitter, but not too much. The first idea was to fill the whole area, but I like that frame around idea eigentlich better. So as we go, we're almost done here with the basting, stitch removal, and then I can wear it. Yay. It's always easier if the basting stitch is done in a different color than the rest of your work, So it's easy to see and a little easier to remove that way. And I have this light gray here, so that's a contrast to the white. Good. So now you can have a closer look. So as you can see, I did either a sequence of 3 blue beads or tubing, or sequence with a little blue bead on top. Okay, so this is my first applique project.